Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Compassionate, community-led early intervention services are at the forefront of the new Tasmanian suicide prevention strategy. The plan, which covers government and private initiatives for the next 5 years, was released to leaders in the mental health sector.
Compassion and empathy and a whole of government and whole of community response to the prevention of suicide.
The Tasmanian Suicide Register found 1 in 20 people in the state have attempted suicide. For support, contact Lifeline on 13 11 14. Environmental groups are calling on Jeremy Rockcliffe not to revive the Mount Wellington cable car project using the major projects pathway. After being knocked back by the Hobart City Council, an appeal was lodged to the Planning Tribunal and defeated again. The proponents have chosen not to pursue another appeal.
We'd appeal to his sense of fairness and equity. This cable car has gone through a proper process measured against this management plan.
I'm not going to rule anything in or out. What's very clear is we need a sustainable, eco-friendly solution to the challenges of Mount Wellington Kanani.
Labor's Josh Willey says a cable car starting from Glenorchy should be considered. A former police officer charged with 2 counts of death by negligent driving following a crash which killed a mother and son earlier this year has faced court for the first time. Cassandra Joy Richardson was off duty when her ute allegedly travelled onto the wrong side of the road and struck the pair near Penna in May. She was subsequently stood down. She's also been charged with driving a defective vehicle without care and driving while disqualified. The matter was adjourned without a plea. The accused has been bailed and will return to court in February. New data shows Tasmanian drivers are becoming more flippant about speeding. The Road Safety Advisory Council says there's been an increase in people admitting to breaking the speed limit by up to 10 kilometres per hour. The research also found men are more likely to speed than women, especially those aged between 26 and 39. The University of Tasmania's newest building in Launceston is on track for completion by next April. The $45.5 million Rivers Edge facility at Inveresk will be home to 4 faculties.
It represents the cutting edge of tertiary education in the state's north. The University of Tasmania giving a preview of the new Rivers Edge building at Inveresk.
This is delivering jobs, growth and opportunity, particularly for young people in northern Tasmania.
The building will be home to the humanities, social sciences, law and education faculties. Also hosting the Riawana Centre for Aboriginal Education, which includes a cultural garden.
The building has been designed purely with the student in mind. It's been designed for hands-on, face-to-face learning.
The building's design includes a glass facade overlooking the North Esk River with an atrium built with Tasmanian timber that will also be naturally lit.
There's some great technological engagement. Materials and systems have been carefully considered, nurtured and invented really specifically for this building.
The building forms parts of UTAS's move from the northern suburbs to the CBD, which will be complete in mid-2024. The new campus is a key feature of the Launceston City Deal and the Northern Transformation Program.
We can't wait to continue to build this precinct as a place where a multitude of users come and work and study and play and recreate.
The Rivers Edge precinct will be opened by next April. Mark Zita, 7 Tasmania News.
The City of Launceston will vote to transfer ownership of UTAS Stadium to Stadiums Tasmania at its meeting next Thursday. The statutory authority was established to take control of the state's major sporting facilities. The council says moving ownership to the state government will save it more than $3 million a year in operating costs. A 21-day public objection period will also be open if the vote passes. Meanwhile, Labor says 2/3 of Tasmanians don't support a Macquarie Point Stadium, according to polling it commissioned. The poll, performed by Community Engagement, asked 2,500 Tasmanians if they supported the project, and only 16% said they did.
It's clear this government has the wrong priorities. We have a health crisis, we have a housing crisis, we have a cost of living crisis that is off the scale.
But as Premier, I will not say no to an opportunity, particularly a transformational opportunity, particularly when it comes to economic development, social infrastructure and indeed jobs and employment.
The stadium is a key part of the state's AFL bid. Several federal Liberal politicians have spoken out against the project. However, many Tasmanian business leaders are in support. Everyday Tasmanian heroes caring for injured and orphaned wildlife can now access funding through a new partnership. Sapphire Freycinet and Wildcare have teamed up in the name of rehabilitation, offering financial support to wildlife carers.
Forming friendships to protect our furry friends. Wildcare Tasmania and Sapphire Freycinet have hopped to a promising new partnership to protect our native wildlife.
Yeah, it's brilliant. As a proud Tasmanian, it's nice to know that our wildlife's being taken care of.
This is really what Wildcare is here to do, bringing together donors and volunteers to achieve environmental outcomes.
Sapphire committing $25,000 over the next 2 years to the Wildlife Foundation's Rehab and Release Fund.
Anybody who's a registered wildlife rehabilitator is able to put an application through to the Wildcare Gift Fund.
Financially supporting trained volunteers to care for injured wildlife, helping Tassie's tiniest creatures like Little Fern.
Her mum was killed by a car and Little Fern was thrown from the pouch.
The 28-week-old Paddy Mellon came into Jenna Bay's care 5 weeks ago and is now on the mend.
She came to me when she was 420 grams and now she's 805 grams. She's very, very active, loves to do zoomies.
The wildlife rehabilitator has received $900 through the grant, put towards purchasing equipment and educational materials to support the Paddy.
People like Jenna are invaluable in our community to take care of those that can't take care of themselves.
Releasing rehabilitated species back into the wild, safe and sound. McKenna Bailey, 7 Tasmania News.
Rock lobsters are an Aussie favourite and feature in many spreads on Christmas Day and over the summer. Fishers are already feeling the love from locals and tourists as they sell straight off the docks.
Looking to snap up a bargain, seafood savants could pick up the perfect catch at the Margate Wharf.
Chop them in half and put them on the barbecue, char-grill them on the barbecue with some sauce, garlic butter.
It's good, and you know, Tasmanian crayfish is the best, it's the premier. Yeah.
Bryce Way has sold most of his cray quota, the rest making their way straight off his boat to boxes, bags and whatever else they fit in.
Just trying to get nice, cheap, fresh seafood on the locals' table, really.
And with prices still low, the seafloor special wasn't hanging around.
Buying 10 crays at once, 6 crays at once, it's really nice to see, and a lot of Australians are coming down to support us, as well as we still get tourists down here. They'll go down to the local barbecue and chop them up and put them on there.
You can buy sort of 3 crayfish now for sort of $120 now, but going back 3 years ago, you'd get 1 crayfish for that.
The industry hit choppy waters in recent years with international markets cut off. Selling straight to punters is now a crucial part of the business.
It's great to see that they're wanting to supply the general public in the lead up to Christmas. People can come down, as I said, Margate or here at the Hobart Docks.
Supplying seafood for the summer spread. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Meanwhile, Huon Aquaculture has found a giant freshwater crayfish in the most unusual of places. The species is endemic to rivers in northern Tasmania. However, an ecologist has found a pregnant female in southern Tasmanian rivers. How it got there remains a mystery. The company has been given permission to keep the female at their southern freshwater facility until her eggs safely hatch. Tasmania's Taste of Summer Festival is putting the final touches on a delicious lineup of stall holders, unveiling 7K Distillery as this year's spirits partner.
Each taste bar will be featuring our products, our new Raspberry Gin Fizz, which has been released this summer, so we're really happy to be joining with the guys at the Taste to, I guess, show everybody what we're making.
We love the fact that they've been built from very small with massive ambitions. And that's kind of like what the Taste is.
The distillery will host a pavilion facing the main stage, serving cocktails to complement the lineup of local artists.
Ben McDermott is hoping he can get back to his best form when the Big Bash starts later this month. The 27-year-old says he hasn't been striking the ball as well as he'd like during the first half of this season.
Always look forward to Big Bash. It's a nice time to, play with a bit more freedom and get after it and play some entertaining cricket. I mean, it's one of my favourite formats and I love playing for the Hurricanes. So, yeah, really keen to get out there and start playing some cricket and
start their campaign on December 16 against the Stars at the G. Meanwhile, Ian Carlisle has secured the final domestic contract for the Hurricanes. The Tasmanian Tigers player had an impressive start to his season, taking 12 wickets at an average of 16.83 during a Queensland T20 competition back in August. Carlisle says he's thrilled at the prospect of making his Big Bash debut. The Jack Jumpers have vengeance on their mind when they take on the team which vanquished them in last season's grand final. Players say they have unfinished business when they take on the Sydney Kings in foreign territory.
The Jack Jumpers soared through their first season, surprising many when they made it to the grand final. Emotions running high as the Sydney Kings clinched the win.
All hail the Kings!
Now they're rewinding the clock, returning to Kudos Bank Arena for the first time since their loss in May. The team staying cool-headed about taking on their rival this Sunday.
This really hasn't come up about last year or anything. They have a new team, we have a new team.
It's just unfinished business just in general, They had a lot of success last year, the Jack Jumpers did, and I just kind of trying to make that repetitive and get over the hump.
The NBL's Indigenous round will see our players sporting jerseys designed by Tasmanian Aboriginal Auntie Judith Rose Thomas.
It's just a great tribute to the whole league of how they've been handling this with the Aboriginal round and in honouring the Indigenous people of Australia.
Meanwhile, in the NBL 1, the Hobart Chargers are moving back to their old stomping ground in Newtown this coming season. But one thing isn't changing. Dwayne Davies staying as women's coach for another year.
I'm really proud, I guess, to get the opportunity to continue to take the team on the journey that we started in 2022.
The coach plans to focus on retaining team culture, signing new imports like 6'4" forward Alana Smith to guide his young squad.
Really fills a lot of gaps for us in terms of, bringing the height and athleticism that we probably haven't had in this group since Kathleen Shear departed.
Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
Good evening, happy Friday to you all. Hobart 16 today, that's 4 below average. Launceston's 20 was more than 2 below average, and Burnie 20 as well. Devonport a high of 17 today. Ooze reached 19, 18 today at Friendly Beaches. Lowerhead, St Helens, Strawn and the Islands all 17, Grove 15 and Lyawini a high of 12. Low level clouds streamed over the state today in those cool southwesterlies, bringing a few scattered showers. That airstream is over most of the southeast of the country with the low-level cloud. Central Australia found some mid-level cloud today. Tomorrow a high moves over our region, a trough lies over central and northern Australia as another ridge of high pressure builds to the west. Winds again starting out from the west-southwest at 5 to 15 knots but becoming more variable at similar speeds later with swells to 2 metres. Hobart, Saturday, 19 and cloudy. Cloudy for Medina, 19, 17 the top for Oatland. Similar right across the state basically tomorrow, cloudy day. Launceston 21, 18 for Devonport. The chance of a late shower over the mountains, Lyawini 15 degrees. Burnie expecting 17. Cloudy for Strawn, 19 the high, 19 also for Marrawar. St Helens tomorrow a top of 17 degrees, partly cloudy. Swansea the same and Orford the same. UV a very high 10, sun up at 5:29. On Sunday showers developing and increasing in the afternoon. Showers again on Monday contracting to the west and south in the evening, and on Tuesday showers over most parts except the east, a thunderstorm and small hail in the northwest and snow possible to 900 metres. Further north we go, partly cloudy and 25 in Perth, 35 in Adelaide, a sunny 25 forecast for Melbourne tomorrow, fine and partly cloudy weather for Canberra, Sydney and Brisbane. Cloudy conditions at the moment as well, 13 degrees in Hobart, 18 in Launceston, Devonport, currently 17 degrees. Before we finish tonight, today we celebrated the great career of our news director, Grant Gruntus Wilson. 42 years with the company. He left the office today. There he is, the man that's been driving the bus off to another one of his retirement lunches. His book has been full this week. He started here as a 17-year-old and has taken on nearly every job in the building. His contribution to the Tasmanian media landscape is unmatched and has been a mentor to many along the way. Congratulations, Gruntus. Thank you. Well done, mate. And Louise, he certainly launched a lot of careers. In fact, you have your own memories. Wasn't he the man that gave you a job when no one else would?
And you as well, Merv. Thank you for that. He absolutely did launch my career in this industry and so many others in the newsroom. Grunty, will all raise a glass to you tonight for a magnificent career, so thank you for everything. And that's all from us, the team, for tonight. We'll see you again over the weekend. Have a lovely evening. Good night.